Okay. I have hit a little bit of a snag here. I have most of these on the backing that I want them on here, which is the Canson Aquarelle XL, Canson watercolor paper. And this is a big 18 by 24 sheet that I've folded and torn down into 9 by 12s to do all of these drawings in SketchandWash pencil. It takes quite a beating. What I've got here that I got out to use to put these on and then to get some more backing out of is my mixed media paper, which is quite a bit thinner. It's not going to work as a backing, so I'm going to have to order some more. But I do want to get a record of all of these in order. And hopefully I can do this by simply pausing the camera as I need to. As I was putting these onto the backing, I found different things that I was thinking about, or I noticed different things in them that I want to point up and make this a fairly to-the-point video about this whole set of musicians from life. So I'm going to go back to the beginning here and put a few out. They're not going to be on a backing yet, but you'll notice some of them, they're going to be on a paper that looks different than the backing than this behind it. Whew. Okay, so first pause. So I started these in October of 2021. When I got a nice little travel tablet of watercolor paper and said, I'll just carry my watercolors around and see what I can do. Might as well come in closer here. So I went down to hear music at the beach and thought, well, I'll try to do the musicians. I didn't know what. Well, what I wound up doing was just listening to the music and enjoying the outdoors. And the music was actually coming in headphones from the band. There was a silent disco going on at the same time. And the stereo music was much more lively in my head. But outside, I'm running around and dancing with my shadow. Anyway, so this here was kind of a start of all of these. I was still wondering just what I could do, but I knew that while I was out all the time, I really should be doing something. So this is a line out of a song by a band called Barley, and they have a bar, 2 bars actually, called Project Barley, but brewery. And I go there a lot to listen to music. But we're going back to October 2nd, 2021 on this one. I did this one. I love the words, and the colors were simply a response to the music. The next one I did was the same day. It was Acoustic Graffiti, a Led Zeppelin cover band. And I got an image in my head while I was working on it. On this one song, there was a beautiful girl with golden hair in the land of Mordor. So that's that one. Again, October 2nd, 2021. These are about 5 by 7. I don't know what I did with my ruler just now. There's a ruler. No, 8, 5.5 by 8. Both of these. So I did these on the same day, and I was quite pleased with them. Not what I had in mind, but, I just take my things and see what it is that I do and think about it later. Then in September, this must have been at a Fiesta Hermosa, because this one here is the following year, in September of 2022, Barley again, and this is J. Constable, and they sang a song called Maggie Cassidy, which is a fun song, and one that they do original music. And going a little bit closer, I think that's the important thing on these, is to really get a good look at what's going on here in the drawings. And I still was stuck a little bit in when I put someone with a guitar, they're just sort of standing there and holding it, right? There's not enough motion in their body. So that was one thing I wanted to pursue working on. Okay. So after those two, I went down and I did on the same paper a watercolor of a woman I had met who's a drummer at one of the first performances down there at the beach that I really enjoyed. And so I went, and also a ukulele player and singer, Jack Tracy. And so I went to Sweet By where they were playing, which is a coffee shop where there's a lot of outdoor seating on the street. And I sold that one pretty quickly, so I don't have it anymore. And then after that, I think this one might have been the one. So we're back again. We're in the fall of 2023. And this is our rock and roll violinist, Emily Vee. And I worked on getting her face up against the violin, which was difficult to do. I wasn't really satisfied with it at first, but the more I see her, the more I see I did capture something nice in here. All of these are like that to me. It's never exactly what I'm looking at. I just have to accept that it's probably good, and in a year or so I'll appreciate it more. This one is very nice of her. She's a very exciting player. I do have another one of her in this group later where I captured all of the motion, and I'm very happy with it. I'm keeping it for myself. So this one is another one that I'm putting into the Hermosa Brewing Company to hang on the walls and sell at reasonable prices. They're all one of a kind, signed, and this video is going to be something of a certificate of authenticity, as well as background information on these. This one I added a little bit of color to. The same day, I did another one, and it was simply a response, like these first two that I showed you, simply a response to music rather than a picture of the musician. And this was Emily V's second set was Sober by Tool. And I just went with the music. I didn't put the color in, I put it in later, but I went with the music and kind of feeling where it went and pulling things out. And oddly enough, this lady here is this lady here. I don't know if you can see her. And I called this Desolation Angels, which is the title of a wonderful Jack Kerouac book. And a bunch of little angels came out, and a garage came out. Oh, I don't know why. And there are different angels in here that you can see at different times, just depending. It also was Inktober 2023. And the prompt for that day was angel. So I put all of that into one. And I did this down at the Lighthouse. All right, what comes next here? All right, there's Emily V. I'll put these here. And I'm looking at the smaller ones. Then after this one, take a little break. Okay, so these two here were both done at the Lighthouse, responding to the music that Emily V was playing and looking at her and trying to get a gesture and expression. And those were both the 19th of October, 2023. This is also Emily V, and this is the one I'm keeping for myself. It encompasses a lot of things. One, I started paying attention to the chords and the equipment and leading from that into the pictures. But this is a very good gesture of her playing. She's a very, very exciting player and violinist. So after these two, which were in October of 2023, I went on a little bit of a hiatus involved in getting some deadbeats out of a house that had belonged to my husband. My husband died in May of 2023. And I guess I got a lot of the paperwork behind me for trying to get the deadbeats out. And this is March now, 2024. And this one was a big breakthrough for me. This is another one I'm keeping for myself. This is Pedro Reís and Steve Aguilar on keyboards and Pedro on guitar. A wonderful player. I'm working on a picture of him right now that is almost done. And this one was very exciting because I found out that if I drew the instrument first and put the person on it, I would get a more successful drawing. This is at the Lighthouse. These are 3 of the Lighthouse signs in there. They're all different. You have a red lighthouse in them. This is the crowd down here. I started with just the stage, the edge of the stage, and put the crowd and put a microphone up here and on the stand, and went down the neck of the guitar and into the guitar and up his arm and into his head and over here. And I also got a hat solved. Getting hats onto people is hard. So very excited about this one because it was a turning point for me with figuring out a little bit about instruments. On the 16th of March, I did one of Steve Aguilar, who's the keyboardist here. See the hat? Even better. And I'm surprised that I got somebody smiling. It's very, very difficult to draw somebody smiling, especially from life. That's why most pictures you don't see people smiling in them, because they have a frozen smile. But he has an incredible smile, grin when he plays. He just loves it. And of course you love it too. I did one also of Zeal Levin, a portrait of him. It's not in here. That one is sold, and he owns that. So the same night, and this was my first experience drawing in a crowd. It was gloriously fun. This is Pedro Reís again, and this is up at American Junkie. And I was looking at the wall. I didn't know this is really emblematic of the place right here, this particular wall. And on this one, I put the guitar in first, and I did something that I've done a few times, which is not quite getting the top and the bottom of the person to match up, but they're both correct, but at different times. And I like this one very much because it has all of the background things there. And he's over and stepping on his equipment, a musical combiner. I don't know what they're called. For, getting everything tuned up the way he wanted it. So that was a very nice action one. That's March 16th, 2024. And I've got Zeal and Steve here too. playing the same night. Let's take a close-up look if we can get one here. So what's going on down in the bottom. These water-soluble pencils are really fun to work with. And people enjoy watching how they develop too, because they just see me scribbling away, and then I pull out the water brushes and things start taking more form. And they really are so pretty. They're so light. And I decided that I wanted to go to Beachlife Festival. So I thought, I'm just going to get my speed up, and I'm going to do a lot of drawings in advance of going to the festival, and maybe I can do one drawing a day to help pay for my ticket. Well, I only did one drawing the whole weekend. It was lots of fun, and I just spent my time wandering around. But I did get one on the first night. That'll be coming up in this series very quickly. So, continuing on in my quest to get people with an instrument looking right, I then started going to Mikes Guitar Parlor, and I met a lot of the musicians from around here, guitarists and songwriters, and it's really exciting. And the big bonus there was that while somebody is playing in front here, the other people waiting are all holding guitars in different ways. So then I started learning about different features of the guitars. And this is the real G.B. Young, Greg Young, and this is Mike Ford. They often partner together. And this is Rebecca. I always call her Rachel, but I think her name's Rebecca. Don't know exactly who was in here, but I was working the background and the people together. Not an exact likeness of them, but I got their general gesture, and people are very recognizable by their gesture. So then I thought, okay, I can calm down here and get the gestures and not worry about getting an exact likeness. So then on April 28th, because Beachlife was coming up on May 3rd, and this year's was just last week, I did this one also, and I put more of the background in. And this is Mike Longacre, who built it for you, and an ohm signal with lights in it. Guitars on the wall over here. I think I know who this is, but I'm not sure, just by the angle of this head. And this here is Beck, Jeff Beck. And he has moved from here, but very, very nice man. Beautiful songwriter. And Mike Longacre arranges the whole thing, and at the very end jumps up on the table and sings a good loud song for everybody to sing along, and opens up the door to disturb the pedestrians. It's good fun. So that's April 28th. And then this drawing is going to have to cost more than the others, because it cost me more to do this drawing with my 3-day ticket there. And I also worked on it considerably at home. Again, I got the gesture and didn't worry about too much, and then just filled it in at home. This is Zeal, very stylish in his movements. And I was watching him up in here on the stage, and bang, next thing I knew it, he was down into the crowd. And it was so much fun watching, because there was like a cluster of people all around him, a big crowd everywhere, but people really packed together, moving around like bees, the way the bees hold together. And you could see him moving through there. And the whole crowd was just all wearing these round black sunglasses, and that was very striking about that. It's similar to the Emily V one too, just a good symbol for getting a bent knee. And over here, more people, then people down here holding up their cell phones. And then across the street, the hotel And here's the temporary seating and tents for where some liquor representatives, I think maybe some private seating there, and more little tents down here. I actually looked at some reference photos to figure out what it was I had indicated back in here, and it pulled the whole thing together. So this is a drawing from life, and at the same time it's a studio work, because I did quite a bit of more work on it. But I left all of this alone, the immediate stuff. I just left it alone and did a little bit of, I knew I had to put those glasses in. And don't know if, I think I put these in at the time. And I had a little something up there, but I didn't really know exactly what it was. And seeing it this year, these are really emblematic of the Beachlife Festival. This is the road that runs along the harbor. The harbor is behind us here, and this is all on sand. It's really nice. I just too pooped this year. So I'm very, very pleased with this one. So that was done Beachlife Festival 2024. Zeal hits the runway on May 3rd. And that was what I was practicing up to be able to do. But I didn't do 3 drawings like I had planned. I thought maybe even I could do 3 drawings a day. But I got 1 done, and I'm happy with that. And then on March 20th, I went to the Lighthouse, and Alligator Beach was playing there. And Lance Keller plays trombone, and he was playing that night. This is on May 15th. And I went back to try to do a drawing of him. And I wound up with the same problem I had with Pedro Reís. Is I actually started with legs, and then he would have gone off here if I kept it up. So these are somewhat disproportionate, but it doesn't really matter. These are the lights that are, I think, around the seating area at the Lighthouse. And I took and put, with my rice glue, I put these Lighthouse napkins onto here before I did any drawing. I had them prepared to include in it as a little bit of a mixed media thing. It looks like it says 2 liter there in British English. I'm not sure what that is. The Lance Keller at the Lighthouse, May 15th, 2024. And all of these also have this top on them that indicates it was a possibly a sketchbook drawing or a very quick drawing, whether or not I moved back into it. Trying to figure out how a trombone works and what went where was something else. And this one is one that once I got it drawn in, I turned around with my back to everything and got my water pen out to move stuff around, and then I forgot what I was doing and got more in there. I'm not sure what I was planning on, but I do know that was a little strange. I didn't quite get his face. He has wonderful eyes. So in June, a month later, or less than a month later, he was playing at Patrick Molloy's with Alligator Beach. And I got a very good likeness and a little bit more of the trombone in to make some sense. I'm very happy with this one. This is much smaller. Oh, by the way, these are about 9 by 12, this size drawings, and this one is, I don't know, 4, 3.5 by 9. And I just happened to have it with me. I was there with a friend, and I happened to have it with me when we were there. And I said, oh, I had a art emergency and had to draw it. So I do this on my lap there. Okay, so those are 2 of those. Chronologically now, May 15th. This then is May 18th. And I'm starting to put color into things at the Lighthouse, V and Steve Aguilar. And I started putting the cords in because these guys have all kinds of cords and equipment and stuff all over the place. This is part of the Lighthouse seating area over here. Some booths, not booths, some soft seating. Oh yeah, there's 2 booths there and some tables. I think this is maybe a piano or it's a control board. But again, paying attention to the equipment, I put in the tablet with lyrics or music on it. So that was something I started noticing. And the roof or the ceiling, the inside roof of the Lighthouse is really great. The Lighthouse is the home of West Coast jazz. It was established in 1949. It's continuously operating. I like to just go touch the bricks and think of all the people that have been there. Okay, so there's that one, May 18th. May 19th, also that would have been a Saturday. This is Sunday. Here we are back at the Guitar Parlor. And here's Jeff Beck. There's Rebecca, Jacob. I forget this lady's name, a really pretty lady that sings beautifully. I'm not sure who this was, or maybe this was she here. And put the lights in, started putting more color in. And this is Michelle Crispin here. And I think the dog is in here. Oh, Fred. But it's full of people, orderly, and really interesting, supportive people. This is Mike Longacre back here as well. I built it for you. And he's got beautiful, beautiful guitars in there all the time. I'm not sure who this was in front of me here. It took me a while to get to know people a little. And then after that, we're up to May 29th, 10 days later. And this is at St. Roch. And this is one that I did a lot of extra work at home on because it was difficult to figure out what was going on in the picture. Her bass player was just, oh, there is a drummer back here as well. This is Kira Bones and the Hollow Legs at St. Roch. His name is Zach Bozeman, and he was just moving so fast, like Ginger Baker and Janis Joplin. It was just impossible. And a few times I got a similar pose, but I just went ahead and gave him a whole bunch of legs and arms and everything because he really is a very energetic player. And she was having some energy here too. I worked and worked and worked getting these curtains into a purple to bring the foreground out and getting the wood a nice natural color. So this one has a lot of studio work on it, not just an on-site sketch. But this up close is fun. And while I was framing this, I checked the back to make sure I wrote his name on the front. And then I realized that there were his last name's Bozeman, and there were a whole bunch of bees in his hair and an S. Well, I didn't do it on purpose. It was just there, and I saw it recently. I'm trying to get people's hands, but they keep moving, but that's okay. I will develop a vocabulary for it. Okay, next. Okay, so that's May 29th, 2024. And then we're back here with Pedro Reís, and I finally got one with his whole gesture and everything, and the chords, and people down here listening and dancing on this great gesture, shoes. That was at the Lighthouse also. The edge of the rug there, and cords, and just, I don't know what all that was. There are those lights that are back near the seating area. And this is Steve Aguilar on keyboards again. I notice on this one, I didn't get this quite wet enough and it's popped off, so I'm going to have to redo that today. So May 29th, May 31st. Okay, chords, and then, yeah, there's a rug there. So where's my homework one? Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay. And June 2nd. Oh, there's my homework. Back at the Guitar Parlor. Jeff Beck, Mike Longacre. Not sure who I've got here. And this one might be the one. One of them, I sat down and I counted how many light bulbs were in that. So I learn a little something every time. Hats, getting those hats on is hard. So June 2nd, 2024. Let's get a close-up of some of the line work in here. There's always more than meets the eye when you first look at it. I think this is a very good likeness of Mike here. This gesture and the way he watches people and cares for everyone. Leave that while I switch it out. Yeah. See, this is June 8th. Okay. So here we've got June 5th. This is my homework here. I wanted to figure out that rug. And so I did. And then I noticed these stairs are really, really narrow. And these guys get up and down it with all their, well, they put their equipment up here and run up and down there, but it's quite a lot of work for them. Doing my homework. Oh, darn, right? It's so hard. And it is South Bay Jam, which happens every Wednesday night at the Lighthouse. And here was right when Meghan Markle came out with her elevated repackaged strawberry jam for, I don't know how much a jar. Yeah. And so up here it says, ain't no strawberry jam, baby. This is on mixed media paper. And let's see, there's the date. Steps Lighthouse. But also looking at the chords and equipment and paying attention to that, my homework piece. And then after that, okay, that's June 5th. And then on June 8th, I did this one of Lance Keller of his face. And I got his face really well. He has beautiful eyes, really smiling eyes all the time. I'd like to see that. And it's just sort of the idea of a trombone. But I've got more detail on it. I'm still puzzling over it. Okay, so that's June 8th. And then July 6th, I went out to Terranea to hear Triple Bueno with Zeal Levin. And it was outside. There's a great video of me somewhere. I've got to maybe attach it to this somehow, that V Torres friend took of me. I couldn't find a seat anywhere, so I said, oh, well, I'll just squat down on the ground and do this. So I was down on my haunches drawing this and bouncing around to the music. So I love it. So this is V Torres. I've been trying to get her face for a long time. And this is a different hat than she often wears, but that's my vision that I want to catch at some point. And this face is quite different than what I was looking for. But then I met her mother later, and I said, oh my goodness, that's your mother's face. So this is what the fun part of drawing is, you catch aspects of people and you're not sure where they came from, but they're there. Hands are getting better, the posture on that. And I'll be seeing her this evening down at the studio. There's a farewell to a band of 2 harmonizing young ladies called Winter Grain. I was calling it Winter Wheat. Winter Grain. It's a little send-off party for them going up into Central California somewhere. Let's see, anything else on this one? Yeah, just getting in what I can and getting it done. So again, this one had a surprise in there for me. And is this the next one already? Yep. And then this one was a young man. This looks nothing like him. A really nice singer and rapper with a great haircut. And that's what I was trying to get. I didn't get it, but I'm not going to worry about it because I got this great gesture. His neck and his arm and his hand big down here. And the song was Save Me. I got the S, Save Me, there. And then I tried to get his face a couple of times, and I told him, I don't know, it doesn't look like you, but it might be one of your ancestors. I mean, your progenitors. And his name is Carmen Scotti. And that was August 21st at the Lighthouse in South Bay Jam, 2024. But yeah, these things kind of grab your attention, but this was where I started, and the gesture, you know, the dynamics of kind of pushing and, you know, pulling of his body, well, I really, really, really like. And I love to hear him sing, and I love to look at him. Okay. Then after that, we have Triple Bueno, August 28th, a week later, out at the Point in El Segundo. And there's summer music series out there, and you can sit on the ground. And I don't know if this happened, but I really noticed him at the memorial. I've seen him around for a long time. At the memorial for a musician that started up the music studio that's where I'm going tonight, the studio. He was doing all of the, again, making all the equipment work and everything, and, you know, doing all of that work after losing a very good friend. It was really impressive. He gets behind people and works to help them. And this is the end of summer concert. These are the words for Kevin Sousa here. Be solid, jump high, and play barefoot. And I think he was playing barefoot. And Zeal Levin at the Point, Triple Bueno. But you have to say it 3 times. Triple Bueno, Triple Bueno, Triple Bueno. And then I noticed on the ground was, I think it was a metal plate, and it was the company, and it said Hope. And so I did a rubbing of that to add in here. And I got some of the palm trees that are up there. And this is some of the equipment. And you know, got his stance pretty much, not much of a face, but his stance. And then I wanted to make sure I had him connected here with Kevin Sousa. because of the way I admired him so much at that memorial. And then August, well, we don't see anything again here until February of this year. Again, in real estate and paperwork hell. So this is back, oh no, this isn't at the Guitar Parlor. This is at Project Barley. Remember I told you that there was a band called Barley. And Jay Constable is part of that band. They have a great saxophone player too, Saxy. It's wonderful. And Maggie Cassidy is a song that Barley sings. So this is Project Barley, the bar, which is down at the Redondo Pier. Not on the pier, but on part of the docks for the fishing boats and tour boats and stand-up paddling and those bicycle-powered boat things. We're talking to my friend Michelle about going out on one of those. Oh, the summer's coming. And this is an event called Shutterdown. And it's a private one. And basically in the room, there are all these people that know each other in the music and art and cultural fields around. It's really great. And this is Zeal Levin here. Oddly enough, he came out looking more like Volodymyr Zelensky than himself. And with this stuff, you can't make a whole lot of changes. Once it's down, it's down. The studio is Studio 636. Oh, here's the emblem for Barley there. And this is, I'm talking so much I'm losing. I got to stop for a second. This is Karen Klink. This is Ashley and Jessica. And I think there was somebody over here on her cell phone the whole time. Oh, this is V Torres right here. Veronica. And this guy I'm kind of fascinated by. He looks like something out of a George Gross drawing. Just at that angle. But again, this has guitars on the walls. And Project Barley always has nice lighting in there, so I started trying to play with that. And I've done 2 paintings there. They're still in progress. This one here's this very recent is still on my board here. Pedro Reís and this one. There are a lot of videos of this one. I'm trying to whip it into shape, wrestle it into shape, I should say, because it got too wet while I was working, and I was right down there next to the water at night, and I just worked into it. And you shouldn't do that with the watercolor. You have to learn to watch paint dry, and also it was artificial light because it was at night, so I had a bit of trouble with that. And this one I'm not going to do anything with. I like the spontaneity of it. I started this one with the shadow. Again, the lighting. I like the lighting there. You can see my other videos that I've been making from that. But from here, oh, so that was February 25th. How time flies. And then I have V Torres here, and I got a good stance and figure of her. And a lot of people, it was at Hermosa, Circle Hermosa. It's women-owned businesses, and at Patrick Molloy's, which is a woman-owned business as well. And it's very difficult to drop. Oh! I gotta go back. This is in Patrick Molloy's also. And I'm not sure I'm done with it. I think I want to put watercolor in here to get the windows behind them. It's very difficult to draw people in there because there's a lot of light that comes in from the back, and they're all dark here, and my eyes adjust back and forth to the light too, and it's hard. So again, with this one, it's Johnny Z. He's got nice curly hair, and he's a really good singer. I love to go see him. And Anjilla Piazza, who is the person that I mentioned, the lady drummer that I had met and was impressed by, on Damien here. I guess that says bass. And Patrick Molloy. But yeah, I'm thinking of getting a loose watercolor of the background there to kind of explain that. But I do like the way it just shoots off of the page. So this is August 16th, 2024, and it comes after, I'm still here, whoops, after, what is it, August 16th, oh, '21. No, that's why I did a lot in August. That was July. Yeah. So this one here, these are I got them out of sequence because I put this one aside because it's not down yet. Is August 16th, and it's exciting motion, and she was sort of down and back, and I think he was up higher, but I just put him there, and then for some reason that came out higher, and I just like this slash across there like that. And then after that one, August 16th, came this one, and this one, the 21st and the 28th, and then here back into February. All of these through, I think through August 16th, I'm not 100% sure, I displayed at Shockboxx Gallery, unframed. I'm framing them all now to take down to the Hermosa Brewery. Okay, let's see. So, I'm pretty sure. No, this one was not there either. July. Oh, maybe it was. I don't remember when that exhibit was. Anyway, so this one is V Torres, and this I started with her hands because we were talking about our teeth and bones, and she had broken some bones really badly in her arm, but just as a kid. And so since we've been talking about that, I was looking at her relationship with the guitar. This one got plenty wet in here. This is what happens to paper when you don't stretch it, when you get it real wet. These other ones that I do, I saw that in here somewhere. Where did I see it? Are on watercolor blocks when I'm actually doing a watercolor, and I leave them there until they're dry, and then they're nice and flat. This is G.B. Young, who we saw in the first one from Mikes Guitar Parlor. And this was at Java Man, the coffee shop on the corner on the street, where I did my first painting of a musician from life. I think G.B. Young is right here, the other one. Let me see. And these watercolor ones I'm not going to show yet. I'm waiting until I have a body of those together. Just going to talk to you for a minute here while I try to find that large one of him. Well, anyway, there's a small one and a large one, and I did 2 on location there, and it was good. It dries nice and fast out in the sun. And then, as I mentioned, the ones that I did at Project Barley at night, right on the water, I had a little problem with everything staying too wet, and I'm still trying to recover the one painting. Where did that one go? Let me look. Yeah, so this one here, I was unable to get her face into there. And like I said, I've been trying to catch her face. I really like it. But it is a distinctive gesture, and her hair shape is distinctive. All right, so that's all of the stuff that's going in onto the walls at the brewery. Although, yeah, the ones that I'm keeping for myself, I'm not going to put in there to display, only the ones that can be sold. And people are interested in some of them, and I'm just going to put them down there and say, hey, they're on the walls. Go down and get a hamburger and a beer. Get a Get Busy Living beer. And buy it off the wall there, because you can see more than one and make your mind up. So, that's that with these. This is what's coming next. These are 2. And, you know, characteristically, the smaller ones are sketchy, but in a lot of ways more lively. I work a little faster. And this one, I really like the way I did his pants on this one, and the color on the guitar. It's not as much of a likeness of him as this one is. Just because. And I think I worked on it a little more at home, so there's a lot more detail in it. I like these very much. And then I have these 2 here. So this is a new series. It's summertime. It's going to be lighter later, so I can work outside. And I prefer natural light, and I like things to dry so that I can keep moving along. So these 2 were done at the same time, but I worked and worked and worked on this one. You can see the difference in the depth of the paint. And I'm also testing out these watercolor blocks that I got. They're from China, and they're cotton, 100% cotton. And it's my Winsor Newton watercolors on these. They're very satisfactory. And I've done a lot of talking about this one. So these 2 and those 2 are the new series in color, because I was really itching to get back to color. Yeah, I think this is pretty long, almost an hour. So I'll have to timestamp all of these too, because I'd like to be able to put a QR code on this particular video and put it up with the pieces that are up. I don't know that all of them are going to fit at one time, but as pieces sell, other ones will go up. But this is what the whole series is. If you've bought one of those, this is what it's all about. And I'm actually going to have Pedro sit for me and paint him from life. And I'm looking forward to that. I just finished up with all the real estate stuff. Not all of it. I have a place in Texas with squatters in it, a rogue house sitter, and I'm going to have to deal with that. But the rest of it has been difficult. And I have checks to write and things like that, but the big burden is off of me, and I'm ready to be moving forward. And I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm really excited about having all of these up in there for sale, because it's not a determined time. Okay. If you made it through this, hope you're still awake. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll try to get this time stamped so that you don't have to look at everything. If you're looking at a particular painting in the gallery or on the walls in the brewery, you can key in to wherever that particular piece is in the video, and then watch the whole video at your leisure. Let me know if you like this. And again, thank you for being interested. It means a lot to me.